Good afternoon. It's September the 22nd, 2002. I'm Mayo Livingston, and this afternoon, Tom Bush and myself are interviewing James O'Quinn on his experiences in World War II. We're doing this on behalf of the Southwest Georgia Regional Library. James, tell us when you joined the Navy. And what you were doing at that time, and why you joined. You just told me, it's an interesting story.
Well, I was working for the railroad at that time. I was single, and we were working. I worked 16 hours one night, and I said, military can't be any worse than this. So I came home. I was in America, Georgia. And I came home and went down, the next day I went down to Tallahassee and enlisted in the Navy.
How old were you?
I was 21.
Well, you mentioned to me the other day about a railroad battalion. Was that part of it? Were you?
No, they had a railroad battalion.
You were never part of it?
No, I didn't want it. They went over there and just ran the railroad. I mean, they just railroaded right on them. And I could have did that, but I didn't.
Well, many of your friends said they already joined, and you said September 42.
No, it hadn't many gone at that time. That was about 11 months after Pearl Harbor.
Yeah.
And it hadn't been many that had left.
There you go.
And but anyway, I went to Tallahassee and joined, and they sent me to Banana River Naval Base, and I took boot camp there. And after I got through with boot camp, I was stationed there for a while in the A&R, and I helped repair propellers.
That was at the Banana River?
Yeah,
Okay.
Banana River.
That's how you learned to work on propellers.
That's exactly right. The other day when we were talking, I forgot that I had been down there. But anyway, after that, I was called and went on the USS Franklin.
Where was the Franklin at that time?
Norfolk, Virginia. And I left there, and we was going to the Pacific. But on the way I fell down a hatch and hurt my back. So they put me off in the Panama Canal zone. And after I got out of the hospital, they just kept me there.
Well, now, was this was on into the war. This was 1943, probably.
No, the early part of 43, probably. I joined in September 42. And then I took boot camp and I did some training down at Banana River, and then I got on the Franklin.
And you fell down a hatch?
I fell down a hatch, hurt my back, and they took me off in the canal zone.
Was this the aircraft carrier at Franklin? Well, you were very lucky because
That's what he's going to tell us. He saw it when he came back.
Yeah, and after I stayed there 2 or 3 years, I was in the Navy a total of 40 months. And all was at the canal zone except maybe, I'll say 6 months, 3 or 4 or 5 months. But anyway, I saw the Franklin when it came back through, and it was torn up. I mean, completely torn up. But it went on, and it docked at the Brooklyn Navy Yard. And for years after that, they found bodies. Were still finding bodies. I know because my mother went visited in New York. She went by and saw the Franklin, and they told her that they were still finding bodies.
Well, you saw it when it came back through the...
Yeah. yeah.
Did you keep up with any of the guys that were on the Franklin with you?
No, I don't.
It took a kamikaze, didn't it?
No, it took two big bombs. Japanese plane came in and dropped two big
That's
bombs.
right.
And they exploded on the hangar.
They didn't have they didn't hit the hull or anything, the upper deck, you know, that.
It killed everybody on the hangar deck. Did you ever meet the priest on the ship, Father Joe Callahan?
No.
He won the Medal of Honor during that day.
You wasn't on there, were you?
No.
Oh, he wasn't hardly born yet.
That's right.
He was in Vietnam. But you'd been trained to work on airplane propellers,
Right.
and that's what you did?
That's what I
In the
did.
canal zone?
Yeah, yeah.
When you say work on, of course, you didn't have jets, everything had a
No,
propeller.
everything was propeller. And it was two type of propellers. One was the Hamilton, which, you know, you have to change pitches, you know.
Yeah.
Well, the Hamilton, you change pitch by oil pressure. And then they had the standard electric. That was electrical control. That's the only two propellers they had then. And I worked on the Hamilton.
Well, with the three blades, four, some of the Corsairs had four, did it? Or did y'all have any Corsairs? Not in the canal zone, probably.
We had, seemed like it was, we had fighter planes.
You had fighter planes?
Yeah,
All right, well, maybe.
yeah, we had fighter planes.
Well, now, but most of the planes that were flying out of the canal zone, well, you said were patrol planes.
Well, see, yeah, they was equipped to fight though, so they never did know when they might meet somebody, meet a enemy plane. And, so they was equipped with machine guns.
Well, were they looking for, were they looking for German U-boats?
They was still looking, yeah.
Were you in
And
the,
they found some.
Oh, really?
I mean, every once in a while, they'd run up on an enemy.
but were you in the Atlantic, did they patrol in the Atlantic and the Pacific?
Yeah. I can't remember. It was Coca-Cola Canal Zone where I was. And then on the other side was the Panama City. And one was on the Atlantic and one was on the Pacific. And I can't remember which is which. I said I was gonna get a map and look it up. But the one was on, because you know the canal zone and do like that.
Well, now, when you say work on a propeller, did you,
It
what
was-
did you do though?
Well, they would, we'd have to, they would, the edges would get, with time, you know, it would deteriorate, and we'd have to take files and shape them up. And
They were all aluminum,
yeah.
the wooden propellers had gone.
No, we didn't, they was all aluminum. And we'd have to, check them, and I want to tell you this little story. On them, we'd have to use, cast oil in our work. We'd clean them, and I think, they used cast oil in some of those, what you call it, like the speedometer.
You know,
But anyway, we use cast oil anyway. And this old boy, we'd have to keep it locked up from it. He'd drink it like drinking wine.
cast oil?
Cast oil. And it never did. He never did go to the bathroom that I know of. But we'd have to keep it locked up from him.
You mentioned to me the other day about balancing a propeller.
Yeah, you'd have to balance them. And you put them on a big stand, and where you could turn them,
Yeah.
and you'd shape them up, balance them. And I believe they were full-bladed, because I remember you had to put them across this way, and they couldn't go up or down. And then you turn them up, get them balanced. You use lead or something to balance them a bit.
You put the lead where, the hub where it
Yeah.
fit into the main shaft.
Yeah.
These planes that you were working on, they all flew out of the canal zone. They were not, you didn't get any planes coming back from the Pacific.
No, well, they was, a squadron right there that flew out of there, and that's what we worked on.
But you have,
But it was a lot of them, we had fukus of planes.
well, you had a lot of traffic going in and out of the canal.
Going in and out, right. And, but, like I say, it's been so long, I've forgotten some of that stuff.
When you're not by yourself.
I got old.
But you spent all the time in the war, and you pretty well kept up with what was going on, I guess, and.
Oh, yeah, we had, newspapers just like the states did. And actually, I could have stayed on over there after the war. They tried to hire me. But I was ready to come home.
You say, you mean after the Japanese surrendered in August of '45?
Right.
You all about ready?
Yeah.
Sort of shut it down.
I was discharged in January of '46. I went in 42 and come out in '46.
You had 4 years.
Well, it wasn't. It was September of '42, say,
Okay.
and January of '46.
And they had you on the, what'd you come out? I think you told me third class petty officer.
Yeah, third class petty officer. And we flew back to the States, and they brought us back. We landed in a field right out of Miami that had been hit by a tornado.
Yeah.
All the building was tore up, but the field was still there. And that's where we landed, and then they bused us over to Miami. And that's where I was discharged in Miami.
Well, did you have any weather problems when you were, was there any disruption in Panama when you were there?
No,
Everything was quiet
nice.
politically.
Yeah.
And they were not beating on the drums for the canal zone. Did you ever actually go through the canal zone? On a boat?
Yeah. If I'm not mistaken now, I might have caught that Franklin when it went back through there and rolled through it.
And
So Franklin was so large, they had to take up all the equipment on the side for it to get through. And it was, because now though, you know, they got different stations, and it let the water in there, gate. It rises, and then they go and rises again. You ever been through there?
No. But
Ain't that the way they do it?
In fact, to open those gates, it takes the power of a light bulb to open them, and then all the water comes through from gravity, from the big lake they created.
Yeah. Do you remember where that Pacifica landed?
I want to say that Panama City is on the Atlantic. That's what I want to say, but I'm not sure.
I'm not sure either. I said I was gonna look it up.
no, that's all right. But the air base that you were stationed, it was closed up, I imagine, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it was closed up right after you left.
I doubt it. I think it's still in operation now.
America was well, it could be.
We had a very large military there until we gave the canal back to the Panamanians.
Yeah, that's right.
It was called the best kept secret in the Army to be stationed there.
It was.
You know what?
I went down there one time for a meeting, but I never got stationed there.
It was a large operation, wasn't it?
Yeah, big, very big.
Yeah.
Did you ever hear about the Japanese sub towards the end of the war? They sent a very large sub that included a plane. Did y'all ever get word of that? They were going to use the plane to bomb the Panama Canal?
Yeah, we got all kind of rumors and.
Was that really, that wasn't, but they never did do it.
Never made it.
And
That's what you guys, that's what the planes were looking for. Subs.
And once in a while, they would, spot one and sink it, I guess. They'd drop a bomb or
Death
something.
charge.
Yeah.
Oh.
Let me tell you, we just talking, I guess, but.
No, you on film.
I know it, but, I'm gonna tell you, I lost my hair, during that time.
Your hair?
Yeah, my hair came out. When I went in, I had the prettiest hair you ever saw. And when I came out, I was bald. And, they asked you, if there's anything that you want to see a doctor for. And, I said, yeah, I want to see a hair doctor. And so they sent me to one. It was a woman, but I don't know what kind. And she said, I said, I went bald. I said, she looked at my hair. She said, it'll come back when you get home and settle down. And that's been 60 years ago, and it hadn't come back yet.
Well, Mary never did complain, did she? But James, this has been great. Anything else you'd like to add? You've got a few more minutes, but we want to, on behalf of the library and the American people, thank you for what you did for your country. And,
Well, I did exactly what they told me to. And in fact, I even volunteered for some things. I wanted to get in the fight.
you wanted to go?
Yeah. Cause I was young,
Yeah.
21 years old. You ain't afraid of that.
No.
You're not afraid of nothing when you're 21. And,
After you saw the Franklin, did you have any regrets?
I met an old boy down there it was from Bainbridge. You remember Mr. Felty?
Yeah.
That's our brother.
He was in the Navy.
Yeah, he retired. And
But-
I won't say no more.